New features with Integrity version 8.9. There are many new features with Integrity version 8.9. As well, Integrity Software version 8.9 also includes additional noise reduction measures for improved performance in environments of high electromagnetic noise. Let's look at the new features now in more detail. After clicking the Patient tab, you will notice a new convenient patient data entry screen, which allows you to quickly enter new patient information or call up an existing patient from the database. If you prefer, you may switch to Classic Table View at any time. For example, here you can enter new patient data, and here you can search for existing patient data. To enter new patient data, start by entering the family name and then click Create New Patient. To search for an existing patient, you can enter the first letter of the last name and it will show similar names here. Similarly, you can search by given names. After pulling up the information for an existing patient, there may be a need to update or edit the information. Simply click on the button labeled Edit Patient Identifier and edit the information as needed and click Save. Other information under any of these tabs can also be modified. Let's move over to the test screen now, where there are several new features. For example, there is now the ability to calculate interaural differences. This button with the two-ear icon labeled RL difference allows you to compare the values of the left and right ears. Here we have waveforms for left and right ears which are identical in stimulus levels and other protocol settings. We will mark the waveforms and then calculate the interaural differences. Select both waveforms. Click on one waveform handle to highlight it in yellow, hold the Control key, and click the other handle to highlight it as well. Then we can go to the right-left difference icon and click it. You will see the interaural differences for latency and amplitude in this table. This is for ABR. For MLR, you will see the values here. For LLR, the values will be seen here. Use the Print button to print directly to a printer or as a PDF. Click the Save button to save this record in the database. In the Database Expanded window, you can calculate the interaural difference similar to the test screen. So, either you can calculate the interaural differences on the test screen during testing, or you can save it and calculate the interaural differences later from the database. Another new feature is that the signal-to-noise ratio is now displayed. It is calculated based on the waveform you see on the screen and any changes applied with the new smoothing options explained in the next segment. The SNR value is an objective measure for ABR interpretation to confirm the presence of ABR peak 5 against the noise level. SNR values can be monitored during testing by placing 5 and 5' markers on the waveform and stop the test when the desired SNR values are obtained. The SNR will be calculated automatically as soon as 5 and 5' are marked in the waveform. Move the 5' marker and observe the changes in SNR values. When moving the 5 marker, note that if placed beyond 5', the SNR disappears. SNR values are calculated based on 5 prime amplitude and residual noise. This new feature will be available both on the test screen and Database Expand Edit window. Saved SNR data will be displayed in the printout. The new Waveform smoothing feature allows you to apply one of 4 levels of smoothing filters during or after the recording of the data. This post-facto filtering of the data is very useful to reduce the noise and smooth out the waveforms based on the clinic's particular noise conditions. The smoothing functions are located here. For the selected waveform, you may choose the appropriate smoothing function to reduce some of the unwanted noise. The first one is S1 with a filter setting from 80 to 1200 Hz. S2 and S3 are high frequency removal, and S4 is based on the moving average. As the S1 smoothing function is applied, the correlation coefficient, residual noise, and the SNR may or may not change, but the latency will not change. As the 4 options are applied now, you can observe the changes. The smoothing level is indicated in the waveform handle and in the test conditions box. This feature will also be available in the database, where you may edit the stored data. With Integrity version 8.9, artifact rejection can be seen and selected on the ABR test screen and can be used with any selected algorithm. In the previous versions of Integrity, you needed to select the artifact rejection values in the protocol screen. However, in the 8.9 version, you can select the values conveniently on the test screen. You can select here from the predefined artifact rejection values based on your test conditions. Plus, you can use it with any algorithm. Or if you wish, you may choose to turn it off. Also on the test screen, the ABR impedance values are now conveniently included in the test records for your reference. So in the 8.9 version of Integrity, once you check the impedance values on the test screen, this will be stored in the system. Scroll to the right in the Test Conditions section. As soon as you run the test, you can see the stored impedance values. These impedance values are saved in the database. On the protocol screen for ABR, you can see new options under the Filter Roll-Off settings. In the high-pass roll-off section, 24 dB octave has been added so that 12 and 24 dB octave options are available. For the low-pass roll-off options, 48 dB octave has been added so that 12, 24, or 48 dB octave may be selected. On the database screen, the Export to CSV feature now includes the actual ABR waveforms in addition to the test results. Another new feature is UK NHSP nomenclature. On the system screen, simply tick the box here to enable this feature, then go to the test screen. Here you can see SN10, which is the equivalent to wave 5 prime. Also, if you go to the markers here, you will see clear response, response absent, inconclusive, and threshold. These markers are typically used in the UK NHSP protocol. So you can use these markers on the waveforms depending on the types of response. On the first waveform, after you have marked wave 5 and SN10, you can see it has met both the RN and SNR criteria. So you can mark this as a clear response. If you go to this response at 30 dB and mark the waveform, you can see the RN and SNR values indicate a good response. So again, you can mark it as clear response, which you can see here. When you go to 20 dB, you can see a clear fifth peak, but we're not sure whether it meets the criteria for SNR. After marking the SN10 and checking the RN and SNR values, it meets the criteria. So it can be marked as clear response. Here we have another waveform at 20 dB. There is definitely a response here, but the SNR is very low. So you can mark this as inconclusive. Here at 10 dB, clearly there is no fifth peak. So you can mark this as response absent. All the markers can be seen here. So when you determine the threshold, you can select the threshold marker and it will appear here. For the full list of features added by release version, please refer to the document New Features List under Instructional Videos. For more details, please refer to the Software User Manual. VivaSonic is a leader in the development of innovative technologies to enhance auditory evoked response detection.